Hey guys, and he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his spin-dom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action of communication.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child, you tell
Keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, "Scissor me, daddy," like that. All right?
No, you know.
This is not the fucking thing to do. Like,
I think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy. I can't help her.
Minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door, no contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with the hands, and your fucking hand slam down on top of it and grab his.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, and I'm be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. First things first, what is happening? Hello.
Hey, what's going on? So, welcome to We Got Questions podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Mike Hennessy, joined with the basic one right here. It's been a couple weeks, but stuff was happening all week. So, past couple weeks. So, but before we get started, remember that everybody got to like, subscribe, follow, do all the things on the podcast. Make sure y'all following us on our individual platforms. Basic right there. All her stuff is down there. Waiting for you guys right there. Saw me right there. All the platforms, all the good stuff. Like, share, follow it out. Follow, share it out to people. That good conversation that we're about to have today. Something that we kind of I'm glad that we took a day to kind of get it together. So because we yesterday, but it was good that we moved it over a little bit. So, but yeah, tonight's topic. Basic, you want to talk about that one or
Oh, hold on. I was just sharing it out. Some people, give me 1 second.
I don't know. Go ahead, share it out. Do your thing. What up, Renus? So I'll start it out. Tonight's topic is what makes love last beyond chemistry, compatibility, and friendships. Like, your friends, you can like your friends too, but your lady could be your best friend. Your dude could be your best friend. Whichever one it is, they can be your best friend. So, what helps that? Let's see. But before we get into our topic, just like kind of do our daily checkups and stuff like that. So fresh or clean, what's going on, brother? Live on the podcast. Yeah. So how have your week been? How is Lola? How's she doing? How's everything going on your side? So
it's been a busy couple of weeks. I think we're just trying to get adjusted to some new things, some new perspectives. She's looking into some new stuff. So we've been trying to get that taken care of, and also just she had some health stuff that we were dealing with the other week. So, but I feel like we're starting to get back on track. It's been a decent week so far. So,
okay, good. I'm happy to hear that. Me, everything has been great on my side. Just like I said, constantly just trying to work my ass off. Did a couple events. Done with some of Milan's events that she was doing for her business, stuff like that. So it was like Gabby time, stuff like that. So for the most part, that's pretty much been it. I've been thinking of other things that I want to try and do, like business wise, and what I can come up with, different little concepts, different stuff that I want to do. So yeah, and getting into my little gaming stuff a little bit more. So
nice.
Yeah, that's about it for me, at least. So.
How are you enjoying the new location? Because you're not in Philly.
It's cool. No, not Philly. It's cool. Just what's up, Rena?
Hi, Rena.
Thank you for coming over. Everything is good. Quiet, just the way I like it. I'm trying to get used to it still. The drive to work is fun. Drive back ain't, but
Is it far from where you work? It's far from
It's like a 44 minute drive to work in the morning.
Okay.
Not bad. I don't mind the drive. I get to listen to my music and do stuff like, I like that before stuff. I don't like,
Yeah.
The after crack. So, but drive back be different because Philadelphia traffic is ridiculous. Traffic just happens because somebody just want to merge into a lane. The next thing you know, you got 4 hours of traffic. It don't take me 4 hours to get home, but I'm just saying, like, that's if you really average it out, people wait till the last minute to get over, can't drive, accidents, normal stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what can I do about it? Nothing. I can do nothing. So, let's see where we at with it right now. Rachel, what's up, Rachel? Welcome in. What up, Casey? Oh shit! I thought she was over here. I'm sorry. It tells me to invite somebody as they live or whatever. Anyway, continuing on. What else? Outside of that, that's it.
Okay.
We get ready.
You guys are officially settled into the place and everything. Mm-hmm. You got everything settled in.
Yep. Yippers. Good. So I'm officially good. So, but Rachel, just in case I know you just getting in here, but this topic today we are talking about what makes love last beyond chemistry, compatibility, and friendship. Rather, is your personal friends or your partner and your person in life. And I know we have conversations around stuff like this often, but when you put spins on it, when you make it happen a certain way, when you do it a certain way, it all calls for good fun times. So, all right. Want to kick us off, or would you like me to?
You can kick it off.
Kick it off? Okay,
yes.
Let me log off of here. Let me log off of the Tiki of Talks. All right, I'm off of there. Had to get off of that. All right. So, I would say when it comes to what's beyond just the lane of the chemistry and stuff like that we try to get from our partners, like that's something that I feel like a lot of us strive for. That's a lot of us want, like because it makes sense to have somebody that that you got chemistry with. So once you get to that point of y'all being together for a long time and stuff like that, and that chemistry tends to fade. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just that y'all start evolving. Y'all get used to each other. Y'all start adapting. It's kind of like how cats. Like I really, I know I love cats and stuff, but I pay attention to cats and how they adapt. Cats don't really like when they're new to each other. You see their behaviors like this, but when they get used to each other, they just move a certain way.
Right.
They get mad with each other. They get playful with each other. They still be around each other. They find new things about themselves that they want to try to do. Even though cats, kind of just normal. They once they do what they do, and they what?
I just saw like it was a gnat. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, okay.
Scared me. I just saw movement and I got scared.
No, you good. I feel like once they, I guess get in a zone with you, they just kind of just live at that point. But I would say for me, my first point and what I kind of, what we sent to each other, achieving new like goals within the relationship, new things, like go to new levels of things. So it's like when you know that it's like this, what new things can y'all start doing together?
Yeah.
And like how can the person come along with that? Like how can I get you to be interested in things that I got going on?
Right.
And things that I'm pushing forward to. Nat, what up? The big pink hand. That pink hand look funny. It look like a hard wave, like, but yeah, like reaching new levels and trying to figure out new things and new like stuff that can further the compatibility, like in the the chemistry, because I feel like chemistry goes into like a bigger thing. Like I feel like the thing that we do wrong sometimes is that we make that mistake of how can I say about the chemistry? Leaving it at that base thing, like, oh, we figured it out and then we're gonna stay like that. And it's like, no, expand more. At least that's what I want to do. Expand more. Yeah. Like learn different things about each other and know, like, okay, go deeper into understanding me. go deeper into understanding the type of person I am.
Yeah.
Don't leave me in this subtle base thing. And it's like, you can tell when it's just like, oh man, we're reverting, or it's just nothing else is coming out of this.
Yeah.
We're not, the chemistry is starting to fade.
Yeah. Well, see, I think instead of maybe taking it from the perspective that the chemistry starts to fade, maybe it's just a different type of chemistry. Like, I think when you first meet a person, there's a certain level of newness and excitement, and maybe that chemistry looks different. Because for a lot of it, very like surface level, but it's about how to keep that chemistry going, but not only going, because it's not going to look the same always, how to make that chemistry evolve, right?
Right.
Where you both still feel like there's that spark between the two of you, but maybe it's for different things. Or maybe you figure out how to continuously nurture the things that you loved about each other in the beginning, to like just keep that flame kind of going, even though it just sort of like changes, or maybe it might shift, or maybe it might look differently. I think sometimes we think the chemistry fades because we are thinking about that newness. You know what I mean? Like that new, almost like the new car smell, that new butterflies and that kind of thing. It may not look the same way because it's new, but there are ways that you can, hopefully, I think, find a way to make that chemistry grow or just evolve into something else. So it's not like, oh, well, it's not as exciting as it was in the beginning. Well, why isn't it as exciting? Like, of course, because we're not brand new to one another, but we need to figure out, like, what are the things about that we do still, like, those things still are there. The things you thought that was exciting about me, it's still there. I'm still that same person. So, like, how can we nurture that? How can we, keep that going between the two of us?
Yeah. And I think that's why I say, like, achieving the new levels, like get somewhere where y'all feel like y'all can find each other again.
Yeah.
That. But of course, it takes both people to want to do it.
Yeah.
And if one person probably wants to do it more than the other, it's not going to work. And that's why I kind of throw that, maybe something is fading. Maybe it ain't the chemistry. It's just the communication ain't there no more. Like the presence, all that stuff isn't there no more. So it's like, what do you do in this point?
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like I said, to me, it is tough out here. It's tough out here to be out here trying to date and stuff like that. It really is. Like, it's tough. Like, when I put that pause on it, I'm not doing nothing else. You see how I was when I was sitting there just not talking to a single soul for months. So, like, it gets tough. That's why I was like, hey, within the relationships that you have, like, how do you, push forward? How do you go to the next level?
Right.
Like, you both got to be willing to do that.
Yeah.
It's me personally. So
you both have to be willing to work and put the effort in.
Yeah. Effort, not A for effort, but E.
Right.
But all right, basically, what you got for me? You got anything?
Yeah, one of mine was I think it's important to do constant check-ins with your partner and vice versa to see like how they are feeling mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally within the relationship. Because when you both do those check-ins with one another, it not only lets your partner know that you care and that you want to be, aware of these things, it gives you an opportunity to be able to voice however you might be feeling in that moment. Because if you don't do those check-ins, you never, I also feel like initiating it and putting in the effort to initiate it with those check-ins, you give an opportunity to let the person know, okay, I care and I'm interested. And if there's something that we might need to check on, or if you're in a different place, or if you want something different, I want to know, I want to understand you, and that way you have the ability to be able to say, hey, maybe I'm not feeling as sexually satisfied, or I feel like we're lacking here, or maybe we haven't spent that much time together, or like, I feel like we're not, having that much quality time, or maybe I'm just going through a lot. I'm stressed out and work has really got to me, and that's really kind of affecting my emotions and why I'm like, I feel like I'm angry all the time. But being able to like every so often do those check-ins with your partner so that you're just not coasting and not like not avoiding, but just kind of like ignorantly moving along in the relationship. You guys don't get a chance to, if you don't, I've lost my train of thought with that. Like if you don't do those check-ins, it's very easy to kind of like turn a blind eye to what you may not see right in front of your face. So being able to do those constant check-ins, you're able to say, hey, let's talk about it. I just want to see where you're at, see if we're both on the same page, see how you're feeling. If there's anything that we need to work on together, are you happy? Okay, great. Is there something that I've done good, that you like? Okay, great. Like it could be beneficial to the both of you, but it also helps you to keep in constant contact so that you both know that you're on the same page.
Right. So I 100% agree with that, and I feel like everything that you're saying is very much so important. I'm gonna start posting up the comments on the podcast, so it's gonna start popping up. You'll start seeing them. Not necessarily down here. Like I love doing that, but you'll see them pop up here too, so we can read it. But I agree 1,000% on what you're saying. I'll also add like that's a part of like the taking that shit to the next level. You know what I mean? Like everything that you're saying and not being stagnant, checking in with your person and finding out what it is. And that, once again, the person involved got to be able to be receptive to the check-in. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
If you are fighting the check-in and you don't understand how check-in works, you're going to work. It's going to be a problem. Like
100%.
And I'm not focusing on the problem. I'm just saying like, hey, from what I notice, like if you don't allow the check-in to happen. What up, Tom? What up, boy guy? If you don't allow the check-in to happen, Tom, I'm put the topic up in a second. If you don't allow the check-in to happen the proper way, then you'll never know. Like, and all that stuff comes in handy. I always feel like for me, one of the most important parts about the check-in is the mental health side of things. Because the mental health plays with the physical, it plays with the emotions, it plays with all that. That's just me. I feel like all of them, the trinity of that, they're all like mentally, physically, emotionally. That whole trinity, the mental is the brain gonna be the first one to let you know something is wrong. Like your body, your body usually, so it's usually physically, and then it goes to your brain, but your brain is the one that does all the rest of the work after that. Once it knows what's going on, you got to check in a certain way because you never know like how a person is thinking and how a person wants to move now, how this and how that. So it's like, I'm all for that. And I feel like what you said earlier, like if the sex is going down, I mean, hey, you might have to do missionary a different way. That's all it is.
But that's why it's important to ask, because how would you know, or how would your partner know that you're not satisfied unless you say, hey, I feel like we're not, like there's something missing, and like I would like, or even if there's something that you want to try, or it's those are the times to talk about it. But I also feel like in those check-ins, like you were saying, it's not always, it's about being receptive. One, you have to be able to be receptive and listen, because not all the time are those check-ins going to be positive. But I do feel like it's important when doing check-ins like that you are also giving credit for things that your partner is doing. Even if it's not a lot of things, I do feel like positive reinforcement in some way is important, right? Because if your partner's not doing anything right, then obviously y'all have a big problem, right? And maybe that's what you have to talk about. But even if you feel like they're not doing everything right, maybe try to find something that is a positive to help to reinforce it. But I do think just as much as expressing concerns and things that are bothering you, it's also important to reaffirm them. Like, let them know, I love when you do this, or, I think you did a great job when you do this, or like, I feel like this is like so encouraging. Like, I feel like you've been doing great. Like, I'm proud of you. Any of those kind of things. People want to hear that stuff too. Like, not only do they want to hear the criticisms and the problems, they want to hear when you've done something good or when you appreciate something. That's really important. And
It
like
is.
those kinds of check-ins are just as important as talking about the things that we might need to fix. Making
Right.
sure that you're letting your partner know that you did appreciate something that they did is super important.
Right. So, just like we said, tonight's topic is what makes love last beyond chemistry, compatibility, and friendships. Right now, we kind of just sitting on the chemistry part of things. You start realizing, like you said, and within the chemistry itself, sex is a part of the chemistry. You know what I mean? As different languages that are out there, you know, like different things that are happening all at the same time. The top 5 podcasts. Before I get to your question, shouts out to you. You said your pod is coming tomorrow.
Nice.
Congratulations. I'm gonna make sure that I check it out. Please send it to me. And I want to see, you know, what you got to talk about on your side. And let's listen, collaboration. That's the goal. Let's do this shit together. We here. So, but shouts out to you. So you says, how do you communicate to each other respectfully where both parties are heard? I giggle because it's a constant thing. It's something I'm currently probably having right now, but you know, is what it is. But it's just communication.
I think it's
Friends,
important.
family, all that shit.
Yeah, it's about effort, and it's about it's a complicated thing. It's not always going to be easy to communicate, especially when they're difficult things that you need to communicate, right? But I think it takes effort from both sides.
Tom said it best. I'm gonna get to it though.
You both have to put ego aside. You both have to be willing to be receptive. And then you both have to know that the goal in the communication is so that you can work to move forward. But a lot of it also has to do with like I said, putting that ego aside, because if we sit in our ego and we're not really understanding what the purpose of this conversation is about, it's easy to be like, oh, well, now my feelings are hurt because now you're saying this about me, or what does that mean? Or what are you accusing me of? Or what does that mean about me? Or you don't think I'm a good partner or whatever. Sometimes that has to be put to the side because maybe you don't recognize that a behavior or a situation was something that made the person that you care about feel away. And you do need to hear it so that you can try to understand. So being receptive is hugely important, and it has to be something that both parties are willing to do. And putting that ego to the side is huge, but also knowing how to approach it, right? I saw someone once say that when you're talking about something with a person, you never want to pose it as you do this to me or you do that. You want to say, I feel, right? Because then it takes it from a position of you pointing the finger and you almost like berating the person or accusing them of something, and more focusing on how it makes you feel and how the situation made you feel. Right. So it kind of takes it off of you pointing the finger at them and more focusing on what your feelings are and letting them understand what your feelings are. Approach is huge. If you have a problem and you want to communicate it to your partner effectively, going into it hostily is never going to be something that's like, if I'm talking to you crazy, if I'm coming at you crazy, trying to tell you something that was bothering me, your first response is going to be defensiveness, like, because you're going to be defensive, like off the rip. So it's all about the way you're presenting it as well, the way you're bringing it to them, and not to say that you have to sugarcoat things, but just your approach. Think about how you would want to be told. Like, think about how you would want someone to tell you that something was happening, and then try to like do it that way. Just
No. Once again, your experience is the reason why you can be able to convey it the way that you do. Like, you're relaying this shit dope play. And just like Natalie said, effective communication 101 using I statements. Spot on. So like, to me, I feel like if I'm me, nothing is going to get accomplished, because I'm not telling you, I'm not trying to collaborate with what's going on. I just want to play, like, I just want to show, like, okay, I didn't do nothing, or I did do something, or whatever. Like, I feel like conversation should be different. Like, even if I did something wrong and I know I did, what's a better way of asking? Oh, okay, so what can I do next time to make sure that this don't happen? What would you like me to do? Give that person the option. Those are
Mhm.
things that kind of like can show, like, oh, I've never been in this space, or oh, he does know how to do this. You see, like those two things can pretty much possibly happen, or
Mhm.
or catch attitude. However, it's going to be, like, who knows? Like, but I do feel like if you put it out there, at least communicate effectively in your own way. Like, maybe try to see what's wrong, try to see where you went wrong. You move from that point.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, basic. I agree. Okay. So anything else, or you want me to keep going? No, as far as that.
No, nothing else with that one.
Cool. So we want another one. I would say for me was defining common ground. Well, y'all can agree. It's not necessarily you missed a lot. You missed a lot, but no, I'm playing. What's going on, Matt? How are you, good brother? It's like I said, defining the common ground. So how do y'all get to a point where y'all both, just it ain't about, like, you remember we talked about this before. It ain't about the compromise. Compromise don't always have to be the thing. Just what's the common ground? Like, I believe if you got to a point of a compromise, there needs to be another conversation that happens after that conversation is over, where y'all can now get to a common ground on, hey, if we run into this problem again, what can we do? That's how, to me, you reach that common ground, or that commonality, or whatever it is, to kind of get on the same page in case you run into this situation again. Like, if you run into this, okay, what would you like me to do? Or, oh, maybe we can do this, or maybe we can do that. Like, write the shit down, talk about it, have conversations, get extensive. Like, there's so many ways that we can go, and sometimes we always take the way that just never really smart to do. Like, I feel like if you choose a person, if you say this is who you want to be with, or or anything like that, one person can't do the work. The other person can't just do the work. You
Yeah.
both got to do the work.
Yeah.
Y'all got to be constantly sitting in the space where it's like, yo, I went and looked at this, or I did this, or I did that. Like, I feel like we do not do the work of the relationship. Like, a lot of people want to be in the relationship, but the work that comes in it is constantly learning things. It's not just about you. It's about learning about everything. Like, noticing things and then actively trying to do something about the things you've noticed. Like, for instance, basic, let's say me and you, we're in this relationship. It's this, and we run into a situation where it's like, let's say me, I'm putting it on me. I tend to make really loud noises for no reason at all.
Okay.
Right? You say something to me about the loud noise, like, hey, like this, hey, you're a little loud, or whatever the case is, right? But I go, and now I got an attitude about it. Me and you have an issue, we have the argument, we have the whatever, but then now I got to sit back, because I'm going to start noticing, okay, I was wrong. She did tell me this, she did tell me that. I caught the attitude, I did this, I did that. The job shouldn't be necessarily, this is just me. Come to you, have the conversation with you, handle it with you, and say, leave it as that. It's also now the work of going into something and saying, okay, what can I personally do better to try to, like, to answer her better now? Now, this is outside of just me and you. This is outside of me and you. This is, remember, the conversation is, we're going further into things, not just the chemistry, not just the communication, not just all that stuff. It's about, how do I take care of this relationship the right way? There's other work to be done. When we were in school studying, you know how you got like your tests and stuff like that coming up, but they want you to not just answer this question or do this, go beyond that, go look into more information. And I feel like that's something that we need to probably get more into doing, go deeper into something, because if you really care, you go and do the work. Doing the work doesn't mean I'm gonna give you this basic thing, no pun intended. I'm gonna give you this basic baseline of something and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry is okay. But how about I want to make sure it don't happen again. Yo, I went and looked this up. I went and found out that this, yo, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm sharing it with you. Now you have now gained something out of that. So
Yeah.
hold on. Let's see. Matt says, are you clicking the same thing?
No. Because I can hear you click.
I'm sorry. Systems of respect, honor, and awareness from both sides. Yes. Yes, sir. Joe, what up, Joe?
Hey, Joe.
Welcome in. You got it. Basically.
To make a relationship last, in my opinion, it has to be honesty, as who else tells you you're wrong than your partner who loves you, even if it hurts. Yeah, we were kind of talking about that earlier, Joe, just before we got to this one, talking about being receptive of the message that's coming across, right? Because it's not always going to be pretty. But as long as, one, the communication is respectful and it's not coming from a place of I'm trying to hurt you, but it's actually coming from a place of, okay, no, let's discuss this. Let's work on this. I want to talk to you about this. Not everything that your partner tells you is going to be pretty, and it's not always going to be in a pretty package, and it's not always going to look good, and it's not always going to be like you did amazing and everything is wonderful and there's no problems. There's going to come time when things are going to be not look so pretty, and they aren't going to be perfect, but you have to be willing to be receptive. And keep in mind, like I said, that's why it's important about how you're talking and what the approach is, and that it's delivered respectfully and with love. Because you're not coming at me because trying to hurt me. You're trying to tell me this is a thing that this is an issue. This is something that we need to work on. And if I know that you love me and you care about me, then I need to be receptive of what you're saying, because our relationship is important to me too. And so I need to be able to take it in, no matter how it might hurt my ego, no matter what it might look like, excuse me, and be receptive of that, and then see, okay, maybe I need to self-reflect. Maybe there is something that I need to pivot on. Maybe this is something I can work on. Maybe I do need to figure out how I can improve on it, because you as my partner are telling me this is important and this is an issue and you have noticed this. So maybe this is something I need to be aware of, and I'm going to receive it. I'm going to process it, and then we can work forward.
Good shit, basic. All right. So Matt says true. One could say that, say the hurt feeling is ultimately just embarrassment. Yes. That can be worked out once your lover explains they're speaking from a place of respect and love. Yes.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes. And I feel like, yes, this is something that I'm learning, that I constantly learn every single day, that I can imagine Basic learns every single day, that, Joe with him and his wife, and other people that has their partners in their life, that's something that you're learning every single day. We have times where we say things and we do things that's probably not going to be in favor of the person.
Mm-hmm.
Again, experiencing it.
Yeah.
You're not trying to be something. You're not trying to do something. Sometimes it's more innocent for you, but it might be hurting somebody else in the process. So you just understand it. You take care of it. You learn to move on from it and try not to do it again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Once again, the other person had to be receptive of it. This is the part right here, because we can have the conversation about what you do wrong, but also how they say, hey, at some point the victim becomes the victim becomes the problem. Yeah, you used to be a victim. Now, when you make it a problem, it's going to become a problem. So it's that's effective things between both of y'all. Both of y'all have to put the work in and say, okay, I understand this, I understand that. Even if you got to go back into it and explain it again, hey, this really hurt my feelings over this, stuff like that. Okay. Let the person understand it fully and thoroughly.
Right.
Sometimes you got to just trust that, a person is going to take care of your feelings.
True.
So that's basically what that is. But Joe and Matt, oh my God, thank y'all for these amazing words.
My next one was the willingness. You have to be willing to be considerate of your partner's interests, but at the same time nurture your own, right?
We literally just said this. That's the fun part. No, keep going. That's what I was literally just talking about.
Yeah, like it's about I was just having this conversation even with my daughter and talking about relationships. Like, while it is great that you both enjoy things together, you also have to make time for yourself and your own interests, because I think it's very easy when you're in love and you're caught up to be so engulfed in what your partner is doing that you sort of lose that part of yourself that did their own thing, you know. But I think nurturing your own interests and likes help you to be a more enriched person. Your partner fell in love with a person who had their own hobbies and interests and who enjoyed going out and enjoyed doing things and liked to read books or whatever, you know what I mean? They fell in love with that version of you. So if you lose that version of you by not nurturing the things that you also love and not recognizing that there are things that you also care about, they also are losing that part of you too. You know, and you have to be able, it also helps you to keep a bit of your own like identity. I feel like that's so important in relationships. You know, I was telling my daughter this because she's young, and I was just saying, you know, it's so easy to get so caught up and be codependent with a person where everything you do is with them all the time. You're always doing something with them. You're never not apart, and that feels very comfortable. But then when you are apart, you don't know what to do with yourself anymore because you haven't done anything but on your own in forever. You don't know how to keep yourself busy. And so being able to have your own hobbies, your own interests are just as important as wanting to know about your partner's interests and taking a part in those things. Showing, at least, even if you guys don't do everything together, showing an interest is important in what they do. Showing that you respect what they like and that you know that they like these certain things and you take an interest in it because you know that they like it, even if you hate it. You know, I know that you like this. So you know what? I'm gonna let's go to an event together if you want to one day. Or I know you like this, so yeah, you can have that time to go and do this on your own if I hate it, you know. But I'm also going to let you know that it matters to me what you care about. But also within doing that, it's so important to be able to have things for yourself that matter to you and that you care about so that you can be a whole and enriched person on your own. And that makes you be a better person for your partner, and you can keep that chemistry. Especially, I also feel like there's also a part that's like, if we can do things separately, sometimes when we come back together, that fire is like, might even be even more like, hey, I was just out doing this. Now I'm back home and I miss you. Like, you know, I was out hanging out with my friends or I was out bowling and I missed you. And so now I'm glad to come home. What's up? Now we can spend some time together. But it's good to get that space. And like, it doesn't mean that just because we're not doing everything together all the time, that there's any like lack of love. It means I'm also pouring into myself so that we can pour into one another.
Yeah, you made that sound good. I like that last part. I pour into myself so I can pour into your cup, Maddie, so we can pour into each other's cup. Yeah, I like it. So, with that, when you said something in the beginning about the person that a person fell in love with, right? They fell in love with the person that was everything that they said that they was. I'm this, I'm that, and blah, 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 right? So what's the only thing? I feel like the only time you ever see somebody not liking when a person is themselves, if you watch Pop the Balloon, they're going to pop. If a person come out and say, yeah, I like sports, pow, it's like, oh, okay. Like, that's the only show that I know that just come out and just set you up for failure immediately, like when it comes to that. But you're absolutely right about that, because you seen how excited the person was when they talk about, the things that they do in their life and different activities that they have. They love it, it's all them, and that's what makes you love that person, especially when they start talking about it. Like when they get into they mode to start talking about they love for this and they love for that, like, you love that stuff. My problem is when people get into relationships, they kind of forget that part of them.
Yeah.
you forget that, like me, I play my games. I fucking make music. I hang out with my friends. I do other little crafty things. I like there's stuff that I'm so interested in, but nobody would know that because I don't really say too much. When I feel like you can't pick out a person's brain, but there's an acquiring things to know about a person. There's also paying attention to a person a certain way. Maybe that's just me, like I'm one of those people that dive a little deeper. I'll look at you and see the little tiny things that you're doing. Oh, they into this.
Yeah.
Like some people, and it's good to have that in the back pocket too. I think that adds to what you're basically talking about. Like it adds to it. Like it's just a way of creating your own personal love language for each other, your own personal love, all that good stuff. Like, and it just helps you like sharpen your sword and your shield when it comes to each other. The more and more y'all gonna have issues and come out of them great, the less that it'll start happening. That's just what I believe. Because them same issues won't be as tough. If you still have the same issue the same way, after having multiple conversations, somebody gotta go sit back and reevaluate something. I ain't saying it got to be a relationship, but you gotta reevaluate yourself at some point. You gotta sit back and you gotta talk to yourself and say, all right, what am I doing? I'm tripping right now. Like I'm tripping. Let's see. Sorry, trying to get them out the talking point. It's very important. Oh, sorry. If you want to get it, you can. I'm over here looking at my points.
Okay. The next one that I had down was acknowledging and respecting each other's boundaries. We've had a show before where we talked about setting boundaries and setting the boundaries in the beginning, and that those should be important to the both of you. And I feel like sometimes those boundaries can change, but sometimes they can't. But just because you may not have touched upon them again, or you said it in the beginning, you still want to be aware that this is something that my partner will not tolerate. Like we might be together, and just because I don't want them doesn't mean that stuff goes away, and I have to stop respecting that kind of stuff. Those things are still important, and that's the other key part about doing those check-ins, like figuring out if we're still on the same page. Like, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like I've crossed that boundary? Do you feel, I think it's important to make sure that you don't lose sight of those things. We do a lot of, hopefully, people do a lot of setting up those initial boundaries and what's important to you versus what you'll take, or what you won't take, or the things that you need in your relationship, and that you that are important to you. Revisiting those things and making sure that you're aware that you are still nurturing and paying attention to and acknowledging those parameters and boundaries that your partner might have set is very important, because over time, I think it can be easy to just like maybe even just forget, or to just sort of like lose sight of them. And so, or to just like maybe unknowingly you just start to not pay attention and not care anymore. And that's kind of like why those check-ins are important, to make sure that you are still acknowledging those things. And maybe if there are new boundaries set, maybe we need to revisit what those are. Maybe we need to talk about those things.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, I believe that. So once again, when somebody tell you that you've reached or did a boundary, you gotta take care of that really quick. Something that you did is just like, okay, my apologies, my this, my that, reach that, what can I do to be better at it, or anything like that. And that's just nature. You got to respect a person's like boundaries when it comes to certain things. If they can handle it, they can handle it.
Yeah.
So gotta leave it as that.
Yeah,
that's the truth. So, believe me, touching boundaries is not a fun thing to do. Like I said, I spend a lot of my time to try not to be offensive, to try not to be certain things. It can make you, they're human. We're all going to do a particular thing. If there are mistakes, but then there is also accountability. I don't believe in mistakes if you knew what you were doing wholeheartedly. Like sometimes people have their moments where it's like, for instance, anxiety or something that's mentally there kicks in really fast. You know, I can't blame you for what kicked in really fast because it was a something that did that. It was a trigger. But if it's something that you clearly know what you're doing, no, it's just you need to be accountable. Period.
Yeah.
So, I agree. Well, see, we touching on so much. I had evolving more as a person and achieving goals that isn't just in your relationship. We expanded upon that one. But this is the extra part I added to it. Remember, we talking about how you grow as a person. Add your person into that too, because and the reason why I say that is because your goals for you could be the things that you're trying to do. But if you add your partner might be able to just have conversations about the things that you're trying to get done. The things that you like, the things that's whatever, even if they're never going to be involved in it. It's always fun to do that too.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of where I was going at with that. I'm gonna throw one more in there. Hanging out with your friends. That's a big thing.
Okay.
Because I love my friends.
Yeah.
And I miss my friends sometimes. And the last thing I want to do is get caught up in not having time for my friends. You could throw Matt's comment up there if you want.
Yeah, sure. Oh, my bad.
See, I wasn't doing it at first.
I know. I think you have to like double tap it or something.
Very true. It seems like a lot of society has a horrible relationship with the action of accountability. Simply take accountability of things that they do, especially when involving other people. Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one thing I did notice, and it's probably something that I don't mind putting on here because I don't mind telling people that it's consistently, my main person that I talk to, even though we're family, the main person that I talk to is Marcus. And that's fine. This ain't a Marcus issue. This is everybody else's issue. We don't see each other enough. And the thing is, I understand, and this me being like this on there because then I'm also going to throw something else in the mix. I understand we all have our lives, we all have certain things, but like I have said this to my brother, said it to my friends, Matt. So I'm not trying to see y'all at a funeral. That's not what I'm trying to do because that's just going to make me aggravated at this point.
Yeah.
I do believe like we all got our lives, no doubt. No one is taking that away, but there's no reason why that core of what we have, there's a core group of people that is just like undeniably these are going to be the people that for the rest of my life. I don't see them as much. So it's like we need to stick to that because at the end of the day, one thing I always say, like, we shouldn't be getting lost in our relationships. And this is what we're talking about right now. It's getting lost in relationships. And it's not like a purposeful thing. It's not like you're doing it on purpose. This is just the nature of what happens. But we also have to think about you need that too.
Yeah. I will ask though, I do think that I think what you're saying has validity because I know that you're a person that friendship is very important. But I do think that for a lot of people, and I know that I'm one of those people, the way friendship looks, it might be different for you. It's different for my daughter. My daughter needs social interaction. She wants to see people. She wants to go out. She wants to do all those things. I don't necessarily need that to feel like a friend is a friend. Not for me. And I'm not a very like super going out socially person, and I also don't do like a lot of outings all the time. I enjoy outing every once in a while, yes, but do I do it on a regular basis? No. But I do know that for her it's important. But I also try to make her understand that, and this is where I was coming to you, I think that maybe the thing that, how would you feel about it if they were like, I can't see you all the time, or maybe not as much as you would like for me to, but I will make an effort to be able to see you because I know it's important to you.
Well, yeah, that's the part that I care about.
But what that looks like for me might look different for you. You might want
Mhm.
it. You might want it to be constant because that's how you operate. You like constant outings and friendships and getting together.
Mhm.
That's what that's what feels good to you. But some
Mhm.
people don't necessarily need constant interaction, but they can understand that I do still need to make time every once in a while to see this person,
Mhm.
but I may not be able to give you as much time as what you would like.
Right.
You know
So
what I
that's
mean?
why I say that's why I said I'm not worrying about every single day. Hell no. Or
Yeah.
every I'm like, okay, it could be I just need it to happen a little bit more than what it's not happening.
Mm.
My thing is, okay, and hear me out with this, right? We all have the reasons why we are the way that we are, right? As far as like how we hang out with each other, how we do stuff. Everybody has lives and everybody has this.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, you start experiencing things about them. And of course, you just let them be them. But like, and this is why I say what I say. When they're not in relationships, they have availability. When they're in relationships, it's like it goes completely away. Nothing wrong with it. I understand why. Same thing happens to me. I think that it's a conscious thought to know. Because once again, the most important thing to me is like, I don't want to show up because one of us checked.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting in regret. Like,
Yeah.
damn, he did ask me to do this. He did ask me to do that. And now that thing is happening. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, nothing, like I said, hey, we don't have to see each other for months. That don't matter to me.
Right.
My thing is it's an effort-based thing. Like, yo, man, I ain't talked to you in a minute. Like, show the love the same way. And I'm only saying this because your relationships with your friends mirrors the relationship you have with a person. You just not intimate with their friends, but it mirrors the same exact thing. You know what I mean? Or it should have some type of like similarity, or because you if you choose this person in your life, you want to kind of do this somewhat the same things that you do with your friends too. Like, let me give you an example. One of my friends had a situation where his homie died, or his homie passed away. He's showing that man so much love, throwing up the video packages of him, make it's all cute and shit. Like, it's everything. People do that with their ladies too. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying is like, I don't, what I mean? Like, I get it. You're gonna have spaces where people move on and people do this and people do that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's also nothing wrong with taking a little bit of effort to see people too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you know what your core thing is with somebody.
Yeah.
A half hour, 20 minutes, 5 hours, however it's going to be, once every 3 or 4 months. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Right.
That's what I'm saying is like, I get it. We have introverts, we have everything along the lines, but if you did not have your partner, what do you do then?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
how I look at it. Like, how do you move now? What you're going to do is you're going to find somebody that can help fill a void.
Mm-hmm.
It had to be a friend, but once you're not in a relationship, you're going to find another relationship to help fill the void, especially if something is bothering you. Most of the time, when you're lonely and you're not whatever, and you don't have people in your life, you're calling your friends, you're reaching out to your friends, you're missing your friends, because that's the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I say what I say. I'm not saying anything like, I want them in my face 24/7. No, I love them.
Yeah.
I don't like other people. Like,
Right.
there's people that can be around me and I'm completely fine with it because I feel the energy. But there's people I'm like, no, you stay over there. Like, I'm cool with you not coming around me. Like, so that's why I say what I say as far as that. That's just my Leo nature in me too. Maybe a little clingy thing, but it's like this. It's a pinch. It's nowhere near like I need to see you every 5 minutes. Like, no,
Right.
It's just make time to see each other, because I'm not trying to see you we're in the stages of our life now where people are checking. We're here. Like, this ain't no game with this. People are checking around this age from down to 50 to 60. This is the check age where somebody checking out. And the last thing I want to do is come shake your hand because the bro died or the sis died or somebody like that. That's just not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
That's just me. That's why I say that part of it. And I was going to add more to it as far as that, like, but you kind of covered it. Like, I'm glad that you even said that because that's where I was going to next. Like, I was going to say, but I can't expect everybody to be me. I can't expect everybody to have communications the way I do. Want to be
Right.
the same way I do. My brother is probably the hardest person to get to hang out with. I literally will be like, yo, we're going to do this. All right, cool. And then that day come on, oh, man, you know what? I ain't going to say his lady name, but she wants blah, blah, blah. And I was just saying, like, I just got to shake my head on it because ain't nothing to do.
Right.
Do say, yo, no, like, like, what with time and experience you'll learn your partners.
Love language.
He might be back a little bit, but I think it's healthy balance when you have the blessing to have a loving relationship and great friends. A break from both by spending time with the separate parties.
Yeah.
100%. Yes, sir. Normally, I would keep your love friend relationship fiery and exciting, and also the relationship with your friends growing into an even deeper, trustworthy bond. It's all about balance. Yep.
Absolutely.
Tone said, preach, bro. Yeah, man. Tone it is. Tone to jump in our Discord chat. Be like, where the fuck y'all at? And they be like, all right, here we come, Tone. Like, that's how Tone cuss you out. Like, he'll yell in the Discord. Like, he don't just be like, hey guys, I miss you. He be like, where the fuck y'all at? I ain't talk to you. Like, all right, Tone. So, all right, but go ahead. You got something for me?
Yeah, I think I've got one more.
Same here.
And it is every day making the active choice. Like choosing. Sometimes love isn't about just, it's just the emotion, because a relationship is not going to be pretty every day. But getting up and every day choosing that person and choosing to work on your relationship and choosing to put in the time and the effort is super important, because friendship relationships, romantic relationships, they require work. But if you don't every day get up and choose to put in the work, then something's going to fall short. And I think that's part of like keeping it alive. Like you have to every day get up and choose this and say, this is important to me. And this is something that I want to do. And this person is important to me. And I might not be able to stand them right now because, they got on my nerves last night, or, we're in a bad place. However, I'm waking up every day and I'm saying, this is important to me. So even though we might be having a hard time, as long as you know that I'm choosing to stay here and to put in the work, it might not look like it today because we can't stand each other. We might be at odds, or it could be any of those things. With friends, it could be that with your romantic partner, choosing to wake up every day and put forth the effort and put in the work is hugely a part of doing all the things that we talked about to like keep that fire going, keep that compatibility going, keeping that friendship going, putting in that work, choosing that friendship, choosing that relationship, saying I'm here to put, I'm clocking in. You know what I mean? I'm here every day. This is important to me. You're important to me. We're going to have rough days. We're going to have wonderful days. But at the end of the day, you're the person that I'm doing this with. And so I'm here to put in the work that it takes to make this work.
So elegantly said. So yeah, I'm the same way. Put the work in, clock in, bro. It's not even an 8-hour shift. It's a lifetime shift.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifetime shift. So let me ask you this, right? Do you feel like outside of just the steps that it takes to do this, what do you feel like would be a great lesson that you can teach to let's say you could talk to your past self and you can tell her like, hey, maybe you can try to move like this and see what that look like or whatever the case is. What would that be as far as like bettering a relationship or something like that?
I probably would tell my younger self a lot about being self-reflective and understanding that every time something might feel like it's going awry, or sometimes when you have a feeling or an itch or something makes you feel bad, understanding why it makes you feel bad is super important, right? Because it could be because of past trauma, and sometimes you have to see if what you're dealing with within your relationship has to do with what's really going on in the relationship, or if it has to do with triggers that remind you of something else, you know? And being able to be self-reflective of how you respond to things and why you respond to things that way, and what could have been the root of why you respond to things that way, will help you to be a better person as you go along in your next relationship, right? There's a lot of things that I can look at now and say, oh, I didn't even realize that's why I moved that way. I didn't even realize that the reason why sometimes I might feel insecure about this has nothing to do with what's happening right now in this relationship. It has everything to do with a scenario looking similar to something else that did make me feel that way. And so it might be digging at or poking at an old wound, because this looks familiar. It might not even be currently happening, but this looks like something that I've seen before. And I knew what that other thing would happen with that other thing. And it's triggering an emotion in me that's making me react. And even though the scenario might not be the same, like I'm getting angry, I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting panicky about something that hasn't even happened in this relationship, but it's just because something here makes me think about another scenario that hurt me. And now I'm carrying it along with me. And now, if I don't know how to put that in check, it might lead me to self-sabotage, because I'm so used. I'm expecting an outcome that might not even be really happening. I'm expecting a hurt that might not be happening. But the knowledge of that, me being able to acknowledge that, to say, hey, this might be coming from somewhere else. To say, hey, you might be reacting this way because this reminds you of something else. And to put myself in a mental check, and to be reflective, and to say, okay, maybe we need to like reevaluate, because the way you're reacting is not in response to what's actually going on here. You're reacting to something that happened to you before, and that's not fair in this. And you're about to self-sabotage. And I think I definitely, but I never would have recognized those things when I was younger, because I didn't understand the importance of really reevaluating the way you respond to things. You know what I mean? It's all about accountability for yourself, and being able to say, maybe I handle this way because of this. Is this a healthy way to approach this? Do I need to evaluate the way I'm approaching something?
Oh, mad. Mm-mm.
A lot of us, men and women, a lot of us need to do that.
No. But the thing is, I actually agree with him as far as that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you picking at it, but I do agree with that. And I think what I can say is that I fall in that self-sabotage category.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that a lot. I kind of I've learned to calm myself down a little bit with that. Like, I don't do that at all, but it's like I will do that. Like, the moment it gets tough, I'm ready to, oof. But yeah, I do agree with that, Matt. I'm not gonna lie, I do agree with that. And I'm not saying that's all women. I'm just saying, like, not at all. I just think, like, in my experience,
Mm-hmm.
I've witnessed a lot of self-sabotage, or at least it trying to happen to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to understand that about yourself, like kind of sit back and notice that about yourself. But I do feel like wait, what? I'm not sure you wrote. Sorry. Let's be honest. Women love to tell men how they screw up, and for the most part, most men could at least hear it. Women, let's keep it 100.
The moment someone brings up their attitude could sabotage the situation. Instead of taking a breath and thinking about it, they'll dig deeper into the wound. Not all, but a lot. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I feel like I think I can understand why, because we can be very emotional creatures. So I think it's why it may be more evident in women, but I do think that it can definitely reside for it. Not to say that it's only, I don't want to be like it's only a woman thing, but I do understand why it can be seen in women a lot, because a lot of times we will tend to wear our emotions on our sleeve a little bit more. And so that's probably why it's way more evident with us, this kind of thing. But I think it's a tool that a lot of us don't even realize, and maybe we don't realize it. Like I said, I can be accountable and say I didn't even realize that it was something that I needed to do until I got into my 40s, my late 30s and 40s, that I really needed to. And it wasn't just in relationships, it was in life in general. I've been going through this process of being really self-reflective of the way I respond to things and why I respond to things in certain ways. And even my current relationship, it has helped me to sort of work through emotions and feelings that I know that I have felt before, but saying to myself, I have reacted out of fear from something that wasn't even happening in my relationship, and just reacted, and like I had to immediately apologize, because it wasn't, and I didn't even realize in the moment. I was so worked up and so hurt that I said something that was ugly, and then when they were like, "This is not even," I don't even know where this is coming from. I had to be like, "You're right, and I'm sorry, and I'm wrong." Like I had to take a moment and take a step back and be like, "No, you're right, I'm wrong." It felt like a thing to me. It made me feel a way, and then I reacted. But you have to be able to be self-reflective. You have to be able to be accountable. You have to be able to say, I need to look at why I react to certain things. And is this situation currently applying right now? Is this person doing this to me? Has this person ever made me feel this way? Have they ever treated me this way before? Currently, what is happening right now that makes me feel like my partner is doing this to me? Or am I so caught up like in what I'm feeling that I'm reacting to a past trauma, and now I'm taking it out on you before it even happens, because I'm afraid. You know what I mean? But you have to be willing to be accountable. You also have to be willing to say, I probably was wrong. Like, I was wrong and I need to apologize. Or but you don't even realize, I think, and sometimes it comes with maturity and it comes with life experiences, that you really kind of like figure out, this is something that I need to do. I need to maybe take a step back and really evaluate what's happening in my current relationship and see if am I about to give you a valid crash out, or am I crashing out because what's happening reminds me of something else that really hurt me.
Yeah. I wanted to say this as far as that, like so where I'm coming with that is that I get what Matt is putting out there, but at the same time, it's about who you are in a relationship with, what type of person you're in a relationship with. Because sure, I feel like women could potentially like not throw so much out there and not do this, but at the same time, who are they in a relationship with? Like, if this person is not a good person towards them, I expect that.
100%.
I expect the person to, go out of line and do these things. And I'm loving the way that I love that Matt said, not all. So Matt, this ain't even towards you. It's just kind of just adding to the question.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad that you brought that up. As far as my feelings towards it is definitely like, me as a man, there's things I got to do, this work I got to put into it. But where I agree is that put the work in for yourself too, so you can understand things a little bit better. So we don't have to have the bad situations. You don't have to even get to that point. You know what I mean? I'm a big proponent for me personally. Is like, yo, learn who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Understand me. Because if you don't understand me, you're going to have issues with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't understand me, you don't understand, like, I'm extremely laid back. I'm extremely easy to deal with. I don't go out my way to make problems.
Right.
Like, I just don't. I got you 1 second, Matt. I'm glad that you put that down there too. But so, and I think that's for a lot of people. On the real side of things, I will never toot my horn. I am not this cocky person, but there are not a lot of people that's like me.
Right.
You can probably count on your fingers how many people you know will be a person that actually puts the work, that listens to people, that don't want to be offensive to people, that literally don't want to do the things that are issues and problems, are willing to help you grow and help myself grow while I'm with you. Help you do things that you didn't know that you can do, because my mind has an ability to do that. You're not going to find people that's like that. You're going to find a person that wants a housewife, that wants you to stay in the crib, that wants to be extra controlling, that wants to be a certain way towards you. It's not all men. There's different versions of them. You're going to find a person that secretly loves Donald Trump, or secretly loves Kevin Samuels, and secretly loves them people's lifestyles. And you won't know it until later on in your life. You're going to find that is not a lot of choices out here for people. And if you do get somebody that's great, you need to kind of understand that person and really try to, and if they're a good person to you, hold on to that.
Yeah.
That matters. Because I don't think any people just going around just dating everybody. And, oh, you know what? You know, like, this is one of the biggest reasons why people, people always tell me, yo, you should go on that Pop the Balloon show. I'm like, I'm going to get my shit popped as soon as I get the fuck on there. Easily. Because I want to tell you, I'm not religious. I don't give a damn. I'm not religious at all. Pow. Yep. I don't see the point. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much, like, you got to learn your person. You got to be willing to understand, like, this is, no one is getting younger. We could talk that shit about, oh, I'll wait until this, I'll wait till that. It's hot girl summers and all that, and hot boy summers, whatever you want to call it. You Negroes want to sit out here and be having fun and doing that. All right. You're going to feel the effects. Motherfuckers are going to treat you like they're going to treat you a certain way. This is a young world. This ain't an old world. I'm sorry. This is a young world. So that's why I say, like, when it comes to stuff, like, put the work in, really got to sit back and study it yourself. Like, my missions is, oh, you make that mistake. All right. Try not to do that no more. Learn it, understand it, talk to them about it a little bit more, see where I can go with things, and then move forward. But I'm expecting the other person to kind of like, hey, maybe you should do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if you leave me on this island by myself and I'm the only person putting that level of work in, it ain't gonna last long.
Yeah.
Not gonna last long. Matt says, exactly, that's another part of it as well. When the lady's dealing with a trash dude, and they out here, they come in here and manipulate their way right through the door. Be out here get you down, be out there tearing you apart, all that good shit. Come to find out, he done took your fucking credit cards and did all types of crazy shit with it, or using you for whatever he's going to use you for, not contributing shit into your life. Out here doing whatever, cheating on you.
Yeah, it happens.
Beating your daughters and your sons up and shit. Like, it's a thing. Some people be living with a whole person they ain't even know exists.
True.
And that's a scary fucking situation. But I don't know, bro, Swain. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. You if you got anything else.
No, that was it. That was my last one.
All right. Y'all know, like, we ain't really got nothing else to talk about, right? Oh, we could talk about next week's episode. So I would love, I think Nat, you might still be in here. Nat might make her podcast debut or something. Matt, if you want to come on too, I'll try to probably grab Carell. We want to get a panel of people together so we can talk about, like, next week's episode. Next week's episode is gotta get to the shits. Hold on. I gotta see what I sent you earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next week's episode. All right, it's gonna be fun. It's culture and identity, diversity of black identity. So that means if rather you're African American, Caribbean, Latino, anything that mixes in with black community. Top 5, hey, hit me up. You know what to do. We're gonna talk about that next week, and just the different things, like Basic being Puerto Rican and black. She's Afro-Latino. So it's it's like her experiences is going to be dope to listen about, like in full on effect of her being who she is. I'm new to this. Yeah, of course. And on watch you. Next thing you know, Matt gonna have a podcast. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't start something. So we're gonna talk about that. Also, adding to the next thing too, colorism within the Black community. Look, we're gonna talk about that. We need to talk about that because I feel like it don't necessarily mean it has to be a light skin thing, a brown skin thing. I think it's just a problem. It's overall. It's overall like the conversations around things, the triggering points, the understanding of what happened in history, like why people tend to go after people of lighter tone, even still to this day, or darker tone. Like we need to have conversations about that. So I would love for y'all to come on and like kind of share your experiences, especially when it comes to the things that y'all are as African American, what do they call it? Afro Latino, Caribbean, whatever it is. If Asian American, Asian and Black, anything like that, we want to talk about it. So I'm down to do that. So this was a very dope podcast. I really enjoyed myself with this one. Very elegant and informational. Informative.
Mhm.
We say not informative, but so yeah. Basic. Yeah, outro if you choose it.
Everybody, thank you for coming. Remember to share everything out. Tell a friend to come back next week and hang out with us. And thank you guys for sitting with us, having this conversation.
I see that right there. I need y'all to go to Spotify because this episode will be on Spotify. And probably I'm actually going to download it as soon as we get off. Get it on Spotify. That means you can listen to the podcast again. You was cooking. Matt.
He said, but A.
What A? What you A-ing for? You don't even know why you A-ing at this point. Damn, Rachel, you've been quiet. Rachel was quiet this whole thing. She probably was sitting there like this the whole entire time watching, like you just sitting there. Of course. Yes, Spotify. Yeah, y'all can follow us on Spotify. It's on there. I think it's under mine. It might be under mine. We should probably just make a We Got Questions Spotify exclusive one.
Okay.
And just get it on there, but it's probably gonna be on mine. Okay, you was listening. Anyway, I got you. But yes, we're on Spotify. Go and look us up. Yeah, I think about 4 episodes on there right now. I might have 4 Puerto Rico.
She little mind.
She's Black and Puerto Rican too. It's just so damn silly. So we just, if y'all want to come on, oh Serena, you too, because we need some brown babies to come on too. Please, we need the brown babies to come on. So I'm trying to get you, my man Chaz, on. And Rachel, I know ain't even going to slide in this conversations at all. So hopefully you'll be there to watch Rachel. But we're gonna get everything going. I want to start the promotion for it really soon. So basic, whenever you got a chance, send over the fun stuff, and we'll go ahead and get that going. But we definitely should have a conversation about that because I feel like when people have a conversation, you still gonna get people to kind of like be like, oh, he's saying that because he light skinned. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly my point of why I need to have this conversation. So, yes.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm going to send this to y'all if y'all down for it. Like I said, I know today is Tuesday, but by the time next Monday come in, y'all probably ain't going to want to do shit because that's the first day of the week. If people come back home from work, got to go to work and all this other stuff, ain't trying to hear it. So, bring y'all asses. So, but listen, stream is coming to an end. I will talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a great day. Y'all probably hear me clicking away. I can't wait to buy a mouse that don't click and just be doing shit. Like, you hear it. So, but that means I'm working. So, she said, I thought it was a spam text. Oh shit, it's a new number. I'm sorry. Yeah, my new number is annoying. But all right, y'all be safe. I will talk to y'all soon.
Bye, everybody.
And a bottle of hair grease.